Okay, so actually, as much as we like to you think that no news ever comes out of the combine, some came out today. Of course, it had nothing to do with guys running around or anything like that, but the general managers, a lot of them it sounded like, a lot of the personnel guys, when we talked to John Clayton, kind of came out and had their first couple of words, and it's kind of like opening salvos, sort of, because guys, it's the first time they're really getting a chance after the Super Bowl to be asked about what their key personnel issues are. So for John Schneider, of course, the conversation was about Matt Flynn and what their status is with him and how they feel about him, and I think we both agree he kind of gave the perfect non-committal answer today.
Yeah, well, he's playing poker. I think he's trying to increase the value to Matt Flynn by saying, you know what, he's part of our primary plan. They got a couple plans in place. And
salary cap plans.
Yeah, their primary plan includes Matt Flynn, and they're not worried about the money that he makes. Basically saying that number works fine for us. So that removes that air of desperation, if you will, that maybe some other teams perceive the Seahawks to have when it comes to Matt Flynn. There might be teams out there feeling like, well, they've got to move this guy. He wants to be a starter. So we're going to be able to get him at a very happy price, or we'll wait for him to cut him or something along those lines. So I think he's kind of playing poker a little bit. I still get the impression that I believe Matt Flynn wants to be a starter, and I believe that I think it was Jason Cole we had on as a guest told us that he had talked to somebody that had told him, yeah, the organization has told Matt Flynn we're gonna do what we can to move you into a situation where you can start. But the message he's sending is, hey, if he's our backup, we're lucky to have these two quarterbacks that we have. We're great. We're fine with that. Salary's fine. So kind of removing the air of desperation that other teams might perceive.
What's fascinating about it is I looked at the comments, and I don't know who the guy is with the 49ers, but he had almost the exact same thing to say about Alex Smith.
Right,
almost the exact same quote about, hey, we got two great quarterbacks and we love them, and there's no guarantee. And they're in the identical situation as the Seahawks. I mean, really, that's the question in terms of free agent quarterbacks. I mean, it's Smith or Flynn. I mean, those are the two veteran guys who are almost at a very similar place. It sounds odd to say that because Smith has obviously played so much more and was really effective last year. Yeah, don't you get the sense that the NFL teams are as wary about him as they kind of were to begin with? And likewise about Flynn, I mean, remember last year, the Seahawks didn't have a whole lot of competition going for him. So both of these teams trying to create maybe a little bit of a market where you wonder if there is one.
Yeah, and I think in Flynn's case, he doesn't have the resume. There isn't the resume of mediocrity that Smith had. Smith's had a year and a half of good play. He had
5 years of lousy play.
Yeah, so before that he was mediocre to not very good. He had a very good year. They go 13-3, and then this past season he started out well before he got hurt, but that was it. So he's got a year and a half mixed with mediocrity, where you've got Matt Flynn, who's got a couple of great games, and then just a whole lot of unknown. So they are different, yet there are red flags to both of them. There are things that are appealing about both of them. But I think both GMs in this case saying exactly what they need to say to really maintain whatever value is attached to these guys.
One of the two I think will be able to make the trade. Let's hope it's John Schneider.